Escape to Montana's Glacier Park. Discover the incredible beauty of one of America's most scenic national parks. Here in the northwest corner of Montana, you will find 1 million acres of eye-filling, soul-stirring alpine grandeur. It remains little changed from prehistoric times, when it served as the hunting grounds for the Blackfeet, the Flathead, and other tribes of mountain-dwelling Indians. Wildlife still abounds in these dark forests and craggy summits. If you take the time to look, and if you have the inclination to search, you will be richly rewarded with views of pure white mountain goats. The nimble-footed mountain sheep and other creatures move along Glacier's steepest ramparts, with the quiet grace of ballerinas performing before a crowded opera house. Here at Logan Pass on the Going to the Sun Highway, they are indeed admired performers. It isn't all scenery and solitude here in Glacier Country. The visitor will find a wide choice of activity for his or her whim of the moment. Yes, Glacier is not just a seeing national park. It is a place for doing as well. No matter what your definition of fun might be, and no matter how many candles were on your last birthday cake, Glacier has some kind of action waiting for you. Guidebooks tell us that there are nearly 200 lakes nestled in these deep valleys, rock-ribbed cirques and high plateaus. Hugging the steep rocky shoulders far above these emerald lakes lie 50 living glaciers, leftovers from the glacial ages when much of North America was encased in solid ice. These active glaciers are, of course, the namesake of this national park. Most of these glaciers lie on the high crests of the Continental Divide, that ragged backbone of stone that splits the waters flowing west to the Pacific from those cascading eastward to the Atlantic. park rangers will guide you to its very heart. They will explain how huge glaciers helped mold the shape of this northern range of the Rocky Mountains. For the geologist, this is a giant national classroom. What is today Glacier Park began forming in the dawning days of this planet Earth, covered by inland seas that finally receded, fractured by stresses on the Earth's outer crust, sprayed by molten volcanic lava, and finally chiseled by colossal glaciers. This land gradually developed its present majestic profile. The forces of erosion are still at work, gouging the jagged features even deeper, even as we stand here today, clicking our cameras. The melting rivulets of Grinnell Glacier cascade into an alpine fairyland of lake, forest, and stream. Through these valleys trod the boots of the fur trapper, the Army scout, the sourdough prospector, the railroad surveyor, and finally the ardent conservationist who thrilled to its beauty and wide variety of wildlife. In 1883, in a letter to a newspaper editor, John Van Orsdale, an early military explorer of this region, wrote,
I sincerely hope that publicity now being given to that portion of Montana will result in drawing attention to that scenery which surpasses anything in Montana or adjacent territories. A great benefit would result to Montana if this section could be set aside as a national park.
On May 11, 1910, Van Orsdale's vision became a fact. President William Howard Taft signed the congressional bill that created America's 8th national park in the West. But more than Montana benefited. Glacier's breathtaking beauty was opened wide for all the world to admire. Many tribes of Indians traversed this mountain abode long before Lewis and Clark first recorded it in their journals of discovery. In the summer months, this country was a sanctuary for the Indian. He hunted, fished, held tribal ceremonies, and like today's tourist, escaped from the heat and discomforts of the flatlands to the east. Centuries later, their ceremonial chants and tom-tom rhythms can still be heard in the area. If you like water, you'll like Glacier Park. You can have it quiet, or you can enjoy it in a more boisterous way. Numerous large lakes, sparkling blue and not too cold, lure thousands of sightseers off the roads and onto gentle waves for sport, sunbathing, cruising, and that all-time favorite care killer, fishing. Fishing in Glacier takes on many forms, the most challenging being a contest between the dry fly angler and the truculent trout swimming in the clear, fast-running streams that sparkle in the summer sunshine far below their mother glaciers. Sometimes a trout could care less about a size 12 orange woolly worm floating gently on a ripple. But at other times, miles of wilderness trails await the visitor who trades his car seat for a western saddle. A trail-savvy pony can take you to where the mountain goats play, high up where you can actually reach out and touch a glacier, or watch a ptarmigan search for berries on the rock slides at Timberline. To see this park by horseback is to drink in its high, rugged beauty to the fullest. For isn't this the way the Indians, fur trappers, and early explorers first saw it? What goes up must come down. This old adage holds true for those who come to Glacier to challenge its lofty peaks and leap its yawning crevices. Although not as rigorous as mountain climbing, the sport of trail hiking has its own pleasant moments. Glacier is a paradise for those who wish to see nature up close, with the bark off, to smell the fragrance of a remote grassy meadow, to hear waterfalls thunder down a rocky precipice, to embrace all that is good as God created it, eons and eons ago. If you plan on really seeing Glacier Park, better pack up your hiking boots before leaving home. They will be your passport to pleasure. Stone-walled alpine chalets offer overnight food and lodging to hikers who tread the higher trails. These cliff-top retreats overlook knife-edged ridges and deep canyons girdled with forests of spruce and fir. Up here, it's quite common to spot such high livers as the bald eagle and the bighorn sheep at close range. In Glacier, the hiker must judiciously divide his time and attention between looking up at the inspiring mountains and glancing down to the carpet of wildflowers passing by at his boot tops. Scores of different plants, all seeming to bloom at once in a sweet, perfumed display of rainbow colors, richer than any man-made tapestry. The wildflowers of Glacier Park are a hiker's bonus and a hummingbird's delight. To camp is to escape. People everywhere are fleeing, if only for a few days, the crowded world of tall buildings or the soothing solitude of the tall pines. Camping seems to bring out the best in people. Families rediscover each other. Living becomes more basic again. The camper finds idyllic settings where he may stake down his tent or prop up his travel trailer, or, more comfortably yet, pilot his sleek new motor home along the byways of Glacier. hill to climb, a creek to wade, a chipmunk to chase, or a fire to gaze at always seem near at hand for the camping family. Visitors to Glacier Park Lodge relax with such niceties as a heated swimming pool, which offers the guest a different kind of western scenery. Nearby is a pine-fringed golf course designed to test your vacation temper. Perhaps the clear, thin air makes your ball go a little farther. And for those who enjoy a bit of luxury with their outdoor living, and that includes most of us these days, Glacier offers an abundance of that too. Rustic hotels, lodges, inns, and cabins are located throughout the park, and especially along going to the Sun Highway, that sky-high road that reveals Glacier's awesome magnificence to the motorist and the tour bus passenger. Here in Glacier, you can do your own thing in your own style, like whipping along wooded roadways with the wind in your face. You feel like you can reach out and touch the world flying overhead, bring it down close to you, savoring it for all its purity. The forests, the lakes, the waterfalls, the mountains, they belong to you, if only for an hour or a day. Luckily, the memories of a visit to this place have a way of lingering on for many years afterward. An atmosphere of peace and tranquility prevails in this land of the shining mountains. This feeling becomes a distinct reality as you drive northward to the Canadian border. Along an invisible line separating two great nations, a monument to mutual goodwill and eternal friendship was established. The Waterton Glacier International Peace Park is a unique idea linking Canada and the United States together through the beauty of a mountain wilderness common to both countries. Can there be another place on this earth quite like Glacier Park? Montanans think not. Waterfalls hurl themselves over vertical cliffs. Gigantic sheets of ice glisten in the soft summer sun. Jewel-like lakes shimmer as cool breezes sweep down from lofty crags. A kaleidoscope of wildflowers carpets the valleys and creep up the stony hillsides. Mountain sheep survey a frozen ocean of stone and snow. No, there is not another place quite like this on God's green earth. Glacier is what you call a one-of-a-kind country. Indians spoke of this sanctuary in quiet reverence, calling it the backbone of the world. It is recorded that when Napi, the Blackfeet's mystical old man, created their world, he placed all the women in the lovely, quiet valley on the Cutbank River. And all the men he set down in the masculine ruggedness south of Two Medicine Lake. The heart-filling beauty of their surroundings, Napi knew, could produce nothing short of courtship and enduring romance. Napi seemed to know what he was doing. 1 million and more North Americans have since fallen in love with Montana's Glacier National Park.
Montana, Montana, a great state to see. Montana, Montana, the big sky country.
You can fish the lakes and streams, and when you're done, wander around. Discover virgin country waiting to take your breath away. And if the mountain goats could talk, and if you'd stop and listen a while, they'd tell you why. The mountains in Glacier Park reach the sky.
Escape to Montana, Montana, a place to be free. If you're looking for mountain cooking, please come join me.
If you need a place to stay, you can find a warm chalet.
Or you can camp among the trees, enjoy the evening breeze.
For every man, it seems there's a special dream of life that's simple and sweet. In Glacier Park, the dream is not just a dream.
Not just a dream. Escape to Montana, Montana, you don't need a key.
Just head for Montana,
Big sky country.
escape to Montana.